Well, hello again, guys, it's Chris. From shooting water 500 feet into the air to historical works of art, here are 12 of the most amazing and creative fountains in the world. Number 12. Floating fountains. The concept of having fountains creating an optical illusion is not new, but when it came to creating one, Isamu Gonuchi decided to take it to a different height. Literally, he went to Osaka, Japan, and created a set of 9 fountains that shoot water down in such a way that it looks like the boxes that contain the water jets are actually floating in the air. Granted, this is not what's actually happening, as this would cause a plethora of problems over time. They are rooted to the ground in their own way, but from afar you honestly can't tell that they're attached at all. Number 11. The Archibald Fountain. In Sydney, Australia, you'll find a very unique fountain located in Hyde Park. The focal point of the fountain weirdly isn't the water, but where parts of the water actually come from. As the fountain itself has many statues lining around it, the statues are carved in the likeness of both Greek and Roman gods and creatures, which is fascinating given how far Australia is from Greece and Italy as a whole. The Greek god Apollo can be found at this mountain, who is the god of the sun and is surrounded by mythical beasts of which he is fighting. The beasts themselves are what shoot little spouts of water nearby people, making it seem like a battle is going on at the fountain. So cool. Number 10. The Buckingham Fountain. Despite its name, it's not a fountain found at Buckingham Palace, but rather in Chicago, Illinois. This staple of Grant Park was actually made all the way back in 1927 and is still there today and visited by many people. It's also one of the largest fountains in the world today. The style of it was inspired by many things, including the fountain that resides at the Palace of Versailles in France. Its wedding cake form has grabbed the eyes of many who pass it. Adding to the mystique are the statues within the base water that also shoot out water. As a whole, the Buckingham Fountain is meant to represent Lake Michigan, a vital and important landmark in Chicago. Number 9. The People's Friendship Fountain. Russia has a long and storied history in the entire world, and a big part of that history is on full display in Moscow within the People's Friendship Fountain. The fountain itself was built during 1951 to 1954 when the Soviet Union was at full power. Located at the All-Russian Exhibition Center, the fountain is ordained with 16 gold-plated statues, which are built to represent the republics that were in the USSR at the time. Specifically, the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, the Uzbek SSR, the Georgian SSR, the Lithuanian SSR, the Latvian SSR, the Tajik SSR, the Turkmen SSR, the Karalu Finnish SSR, the Estonian SSR, the Armenian SSR, the Moldavian SSR, the Kyrgyz SSR, the Azerbaijan SSR, the Kazakh SSR, and the Soviet Socialist Republic of Belarus. Though the USSR is no longer around, the fountain remains. And it remains a popular attraction for those in Moscow and, of course, for tourists. Have you seen it? Let me know in the comments below. Number 8. Magic Fountain of Montjuic. Found in Barcelona, Spain, the Magic Fountain of Montjuic is below the Palau Nacional on Montjuic Hill, the official home of the Spanish government. The fountain itself went live in 1929, which according to historians was quite a feat. When the designer of the fountain submitted the plans for it, they weren't sure he'd get it done on time, as they thought the fountain was too ambitious. But with the combined help of 3,000 workers, the fountain was made in less than a year. It's not just a cool-looking fountain, though. It's one that puts on shows of light, sound, and color, and the waters themselves dance before the eyes of viewers from all over. The fountain is so revered that it's considered one of the must-see places to go when you visit Spain. Not too shabby for having been built in 1929. And they keep it in tip-top shape. Number 7. Bellagio Fountains. There are very few things in Las Vegas that are small, and the Bellagio Fountains are definitely not one of those things. This massive fountain, and its subsidiaries that help add to its wonder, took over $40 million to create. Much like Las Vegas itself, the fountain is more than it appears, for this particular fountain does shows every 15 to 30 minutes. Specifically, the waters of the fountain dance to certain music that's put on. And add that with lights and colors in the water and you get a show worthy of Las Vegas. The fountains themselves are in front of the Bellagio Hotel and Casino, a very popular spot in Las Vegas, and during the shows, the hotel sometimes changes colors to help add to the act. These fountains, along with the hotel, have been featured in numerous movies and TV shows, including the Ocean's 11 movie series and the original CSI series. Plus, everyone that's ever been to Vegas that shares their fountain experience on social media. I was one of those people. Number 6. Latona Fountain. The Palace of Versailles is a very important part of French history in numerous ways, not the least of which was its importance in both World War I and II. But just in front of the palace is a water fountain that has gotten the attention of many over the years. Called the Latona Fountain, though sometimes it's referred to as the fountain in front of Versailles, is actually a depiction of a story of Roman mythology. A mother, Diana, who sired the son of Jupiter, in this case Apollo, is besieged by many who would condemn the birth. Diana is seen crying out to Jupiter for aid for their son, while the common folk spit at her via the fountain's water spouts. The design of this fountain has inspired many other fountains over the years because of its layered look and the way that the fountains shoot both inward and outward depending on their position. For those who are curious, in the story, Jupiter does hear their pleas, transforming the mother and son into lizards or frogs, depending on the interpretation, and allowing them to get away. Obviously, that's not portrayed in the fountain. Number 5. The Burj Khalifa Fountain. The building known as the Burj Khalifa is actually the biggest building in the world today, and it's one that was finished in 2018 within Dubai. As part of the construction of that building, a man-made lake was forged, and inside that lake is the Burj Khalifa Fountain. This fountain was made to be one of the highlights of the outside of the building, including having water jets that shoot water upwards of 500 feet in the air. In comparison, the Burj Khalifa itself is actually 2,700 plus feet in height, so the fountains shoot around 1/5 of the height of the building. Number 4. Big Wild Goose Pagoda Fountains. Located in Xi'an, China, the Big Wild Goose Pagoda Fountains cover an astounding 111,000 square meters of area, making it the largest fountain complex in all of Asia. The massive fountain is actually shaped in the form of a T, and so big that it's sectioned off into areas. One's called the 100-meter waterfall pool, 8-level plunge pool, and prelude music pool. As the name suggests, this is a musical fountain, one that features many matrix patterns, as well as lights and sounds that entrance the audience. Speaking of the audience, the fountains are surrounded by benches so that everyone can have a seat. The Big Wild Goose Pagoda Fountains has the most benches and the longest light belt strip in the world today. Number 3. Trevi Fountain. Trevi Fountain can be found in Rome, Italy, and is widely considered one of the most famous fountains in all the world. One of the biggest reasons for this is that the fountain and its accompanying background were beautifully sculpted to truly deliver a unique experience upon visiting it. Within the fountain are various statues, the most important of which is Oceanus, who was the father of Neptune, who is the god of the ocean, if you didn't know. And it was through him, not Neptune, that the oceans truly came to be. This is shown in the fountain via the waters all emanating from him into a wide basin below his feet. The beauty of the fountain has attracted not only people of Italy and around the world, but many from Hollywood, as the Trevi Fountain has been shown in many films over the years. Number 2. Fountain of Wealth. Singapore as a country has survived to have some of the biggest and best things in the world, and that includes having the biggest fountain in the world via the Fountain of Wealth. But it's more than just a symbol of wealth for the country. It's actually meant to be a symbol of faith and unity itself. You see, the bronze ring that literally encircles the fountain and provides the holes for the water to flow down is actually based on the Hindu faith. It's the mandala, which in this case represents the universe as a whole. This symbol represents how everyone in the universe is equal in their quality and their life. And just as every hole in the circle sends out the same amount of water, so too are we in the equality of life that we all deserve. The fountain as a whole represents how Singapore accepts people of all nations and religions and does not turn them away based on the skin color or faith. Number 1. Fountain of Nations. Disney World is a place where families and the world come to gather in order to try and be happy and have fun. But in 1982, that principle took on a whole new meaning. That year was the year that the park known as Epcot was opened. And with it came a brand new fountain that was going to entertain people who were nearby. But the owners of the park wanted the Fountain of Nations to be more, so they went and contacted representatives from around the world and asked them to bring water from their nations to Epcot and to this fountain. 29 countries answered the call, and in a showing of unity and peace gave their waters to the fountain. Now the fountain truly shoots out water from all over the world. And both in the daytime and nighttime, the fountain uses its 200 shooters of water to entertain those who can see. And given how high the water can be shot at times, it looks at points to go higher than Epcot itself. A lot of people can no doubt see it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. What did you think of these amazing fountains? And if you've seen any of these in real life, be sure to share your experience in the comments below. And remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.